After chatting with hundreds and hundreds of agency owners, I understand what it feels like to have a capacity problem. And if you feel like you cannot take on an unlimited number of clients because of your fulfillment engine on the back end, well, this episode is going to blow your mind because I have introduced you to the man that you need to know, and that is Manish. He owns an amazing business that helps agencies with capacity problems. So let's get into today's episode. He is a new friend of mine in the agency space, and I am so excited to introduce him to you because I know it is going to be crazy impactful for the growth and scalability of the fulfillment side of your agency. So let's get into it.
Welcome to the Happy Clients Podcast, brought to you by Dot & Company. Whether you're a virtual assistant, an agency owner, or a client-facing account manager, we all deal with clients. Lucky for you, client management is what we do best. Now, let's dig in, chat cam life, and have some fun along the way. Cheers to happy clients.
Well, Manish, we're so excited to have you on the podcast. We've been talking about this for a while, so very grateful to have you on. And I think that our audience is going to learn so much from what you have built over the last, 9 years? 12 years. Oh my goodness. Wow. You're like a veteran in the agency world. Well, welcome to the Happy Clients Podcast.
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you for having me. Super excited to speak with you. When I learned about you, I was kind of fascinated to see that, okay, there is a space where, there is someone is providing agencies a solution related to account management and project management. So that kind of made me excited to connect with you. So I'm super excited for our today's conversation.
Amazing. Good stuff. Well, I think we can both agree that as soon as we met for the first time, we were totally on the same wave in terms of what kind of work we do, what kind of people we like to hang around. And so I think we're going to be able to definitely collaborate and make some magic happen together. So this is the first step, and I'm excited to introduce you to everyone listening to the podcast. But let's kind of quickly just do a good overview of how you started and how you've grown this amazing business.
Sure. So I got into this industry back in 2007, actually. So for first 5 years, from 2007 to 12, I was working in digital marketing and specifically in SEO. And 2012 was the time when I kind of realized that, okay, I wanted to start something my own for all good reasons. And that was the time, initially we started with offering only SEO services. But then things changed a lot over the period of time. We got into a lot of different other areas as well. I actually started a couple of other businesses, which I started, lost money, shut them down, obviously learned a lot. There were great learning lessons. But it's a long story, like 12 years of story. But we started getting into agency space over the period of time. And actually around like 2016, 17, we decided that, okay, this is an area where we really, really want to get into, and we will actually talk about it, right? How it is important to be a part of a right ecosystem for your agency's success. So that's how we started. We realized that, okay, I'm originally from India, and my core expertise is more on like building a team, building a great culture, sales, branding, and all that sort of stuff. So I realized, okay, there is a huge need in the agency ecosystem having a reliable offshore team. And that's what I kind of like where my expertise falls. And obviously, traveling across the US helped me to understand more about the agencies. I have personally traveled like over 35 plus states in the US and have met like hundreds of agency owners in person, have attended a lot of events as well. So I kind of understand this ecosystem really well. And yeah, to cut it short, like as we speak, we are a team of 200 plus full-time employees, and we work with over 250 plus agencies.
Amazing. That is incredible. That's a huge team. And are they all local in India?
Yes, they are local. So we have a 20,000 square feet office over here where we are having a capacity of like 200 people. We just got another office on third floor where we have a capacity of 50 more people. So we are growing constantly as we speak. That's a big team, but fortunately, we have a great team. I have an amazing leadership team, which obviously took a time to build. It didn't happen overnight. So now we have like 7, 8 people core leadership team who is kind of like running entire show.
Insane. That's amazing. And so when you're working with agencies, we talk a lot about like what you kind of said earlier, you are a reliable offshore team. You're reliable. And that's kind of something that is really important to us here at DOT is being those reliable people. But you
Yes.
obviously help agencies who have capacity problems to serve their clients. So tell me more about how you do that and how your business helps agencies.
Sure. So I think, if we just put agency aside, in general, the goal of business is that what you are making must be more than what you are spending, right? For a moment, if we keep, everything aside, like mission, vision, and everything, that's a really good thing. I recently read on Twitter by Jason, who is the founder of Basecamp, and he wrote a really good thing that, okay, for a business, it only makes sense if you are making more than what you are spending, right? The entire idea about agency success is that how can I increase my profits without increasing my overhead cost, right? There are agency owners like who really want to scale, who really want to grow their agency business, but they don't want to increase their overhead cost, and that's where they really wanted to have a reliable team where, okay, we want to onboard new clients, we want to like land large size of projects, but we don't want to hire full-time people. We don't want to have like, ongoing liabilities. We don't want to have overhead costs like having people in the office, like infrastructure cost, a payroll cost, like, all health insurance and everything you can think of, right? And that's where we come into the picture, right? Where they run into a bandwidth and capacity problems. And that's where they are looking for a team which they can onboard literally overnight and work with them on a flexible mode, right? Because agency businesses are kind of like goes up and down. So that's where we get into the picture where they run into the bandwidth and capacity problems, and they really want a reliable team, specifically having multi-tech expertise, right? And that's where we actually fill that gap where we work as their white label fulfillment partner and help them deliver and execute the projects.
Okay, amazing. And so agencies come to you when they want to grow and scale. They need team members who can do an amazing job, but they don't want to necessarily hire them full time into their business, and they just need the quality output.
That's correct. Yes. So we do a lot of websites in WordPress, Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, and on digital marketing front, we do SEO and content writing. So let's take an example for website. So in order to deliver a successful website, you need a designer, you need a front-end developer, you need a back-end developer, you need a quality analyst, and you need a server specialist to launch the website. So you are talking about 5 different expertise, right? And for an agency to have all these 5 different expertise, it's a costly affair. So when they work with us, they get all these 5 expertise, but at the fixed monthly cost, because we have a like very unique business model designed for exclusively agencies owners. So we have a productized white label services model where agencies pay us like fixed monthly cost where they buy bucket of hours and they can get done anything what they want. And then they have a single point of contact, right? So that's how we work with agencies where we kind of solve a very particular problem where they are having a fun fixed monthly cost and they are getting all these kind of different expertise, including SEO and content help as well. So in total, we are talking about like 7 different expertise in order to run a successful digital marketing campaign for their clients, right? And that's what they are getting at a fixed monthly cost, and that too with no long-term contracts. It's purely month to month.
That's like unheard of in our world.
Yeah.
Right. And so obviously those are amazing pros, but where are the hiccups? What are the cons when it comes to working with white label?
Yes, the cons is, think like that. One of the most advantages agencies get working with us is the cost, because we are having a team over here in India and offshore team. Pretty much our hourly rate falls between like 20 to 35 an hour, right? And agencies are on an average charging above between like 100 to 300 an hour. So that's where they are making their margins, right? That's the advantage. The cons is like not having the team on the same time zone, right? Uh, but we have designed our processes in a way that it doesn't become an obstacle for them to work with, because it's been something we've been doing like 12 years long, right? We have designed processes and in a way that doesn't become you know, kind of like obstacle. But at the same time, the major cons I would say is the not having the team on the same time zone all the time, and not having the access to the team like during their business hours. That's the only con I can think of. Other than that, I don't see any cons.
And before, you and I had spoken about the communication between your team and the agency's clients. So the agency still has to have that account manager, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah.
We don't talk to agencies clients. In fact, we highly recommend that hey, think of us like your fulfillment partner. You must have an account manager and project manager in place, right? That's something we highly recommend our agency partners. And that was the reason, we got you on our Scale with webinar series to educate our clients that, hey, what is the importance of account management? Because that is someone you must have during your local time zone available. And that is someone like, what you guys are providing, that's amazing. So, that is something, if you don't have an in-house account manager, project manager, I would definitely recommend that, agencies should like work with company like you, where you are providing like account management, white label account management services. But yes, we completely work behind the scenes. We don't communicate to agencies clients.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Cool. So obviously you have seen behind the scenes of a lot of agencies. You've gone to so many events. You've seen what works, what doesn't work. So when agencies are in this growth mode, they're ready to take it to the next level. What do you recommend they get off their plate when it comes to the whole structure of their business? What's the first, second, third thing that you recommend?
So first thing, usually I have seen the agency owners' background is like designers or developers, right? So usually, I have seen that if it's a solo agency owner and they are, or even like small to mid-sized agency owner, they are on scale more. Sometimes they are still involved into day-to-day operations. When I say day-to-day operations, like doing the actual projects, working on so maybe designing or developing, or like, or there is the one thing. And second area, they are mostly involved in like account management or project management, right? So I would say these are the first two things they should get off their plate. And third thing should be the sales, because that's where they are, the third thing they are involved into like sales. So I would say like in order, it's like first is you should not be doing any hands-on project. You should not be working on, designing website or developing website or doing SEO or doing digital marketing for your clients. Second thing is you should not be involved into account management, project management. And third should be the sales thing. And fourth should be the operations part, right? That's how you should get off your plate when you are in a scaling mode.
That totally I totally agree. Get out of the day-to-day, and then lastly, get out of sales, and then agency scaling. It's growing. Yes. It's out of your hands.
Yeah, that's what the goal should be, right? So it took me 12 years, but right now I'm not involved into anything. I don't take sales calls as well. I'm 95% not involved into operations. In fact, last year was the first year when I took off like 3 months of 90 days out of the office. I was out of the office and the company was running without me. So that's what your goal should be. Obviously, it took me, 12 years to get there. It didn't happen overnight, but that's what your goal should be.
And so knowing what you know now after 12 years, if you were to start from scratch, how long do you think it would take you to get out of all of those things?
It's very hard to answer this question because initial years, I spent a lot of time making a lot of mistakes. And that kind of like, helped me learn a lot, which I would not have learned otherwise, right? Imagine, if I would not have made those mistakes in early years, I would have scaled, but then I would have scaled down. So I'm glad that, I made those mistakes in early years of my life. Otherwise, it would have been like kind of a roller coaster, right? Where you might have scaled down right now and then again learn that mistake. So I think, it's very hard to answer, that's a very common answer, but I'm glad that I made those mistakes in the early years, not now. because learning from those mistakes helped me to scale our company in the right way right now.
I love it. It's such a good reminder too of things don't have to happen. Not everything has to be rushed. It's
Yes,
okay that you take your time, you learn, you figure things out as you go and build the right team. And
that's very important.
yeah, and I think we live in this world of rushing and trying to get things done fast and get to the next level. And it's okay that you take your time. It's okay it takes 12 years to grow a really successful business because the amount that you've learned throughout has been monumental.
It is important. I was recently reading something very interesting that, okay, no matter how you are doing marketing of your business, either through social media or SEO, PPC, email marketing, or anything you can think of, like sponsoring events and anything, it actually takes 10 years to start seeing clients getting leads through word of mouth. So it takes 10 years to build any brand, right? Where your brand is like recognized in the ecosystem, and then you start getting clients where they kind of heard about you from someone else, and then you are getting in another level of the business.
That's crazy. 10 years. I
It
wouldn't
takes,
have guessed 10.
yeah, there is another framework. Even if you want to like learn any skill, you literally have to spend like 10,000 hours, which is equal to 5 years, right? So if someone thinks that, okay, I can learn this skill within like 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, yes, you can still learn and, be really good at that. But if you want to call yourself an expert, I would say you should spend at least 10,000 hours, which is almost equal to 5 years learning skill. But the same goes with business, it is actually around 10 years. That's what I have like kind of read and seen the journey of all the successful businesses.
Amazing. Such a good
If you
reminder.
if you look at the journey of Facebook, Facebook started around 2004, and they actually started scaling from 2014. They actually launched their Facebook was completely free up until 2014 for first 10 years. And then they started their advertising business model, 2014. And look at like where they are in last 10 years.
Mm, wow. Crazy. Such a good reminder.
Yes.
So, Manish, obviously, we've learned a lot. Agencies, like, they need all these foundational pieces. They need teams like you who can help them take it to the next level. What's been the biggest thing that's given you the most success over the last 12 years?
If I put it in a simple way, I'll share three things, right? As an agency owner or as a business owner, agency owner, first, most important thing is making sure that you are a part of the right ecosystem where your chances of success are higher, right? So in agencies, often agencies are going after a particular niche, right? To go after, right? Sometimes some agencies are targeting like lawyers, sometimes some agencies are targeting like healthcare, uh, or manufacturing, or automobile, or technology, or SaaS businesses. One of the most important things is like, what ecosystem are you aware about? And if you would be a part of that ecosystem, then your success of chances will be much, much higher. So make sure you are a part of the right ecosystem, right? So for you and me, I think we love agency ecosystem, right? We know agency ecosystem really well. We know how agencies operate. We know a pain point for agencies. We launched our services in a way where we are a part of one ecosystem, right? We still don't call ourselves successful, but I think what we are doing is something is working right. So if you want to call it success, it's okay. But we still have a lot to do, because if we see like, there must be like 50,000, 100,000 agencies, and we are working only with like couple of hundred agencies. So we haven't like touched like less than 1% of market, right? So the TAM, total addressable market, is huge. So we know that this ecosystem really well. So the first is like having a part of the right ecosystem. So if you are an agency and going after the niche, make sure which niche you know the most about and go after that. So your chances of success will be higher. The second thing is like having the right mindset. So the mindset plays a huge role in order to define the success of your agency. And that's something I speak a lot about. Maybe we'll talk about it in the another episode. Like, I speak a lot about mental model frameworks, like for decision making and everything. So having the right mindset about the hiring people, building a team, building a culture, building a customer service team, and everything in terms of building how to build a brand and everything. So having the right mindset. And the last and third most important thing is having the right assembled team. So when I say assemble, which means you wanted to make sure that you have the right team, right? So you have a sales team accordingly, you have the right sales team, you have the right operation team, you have a right client services account management team, you have a right fulfillment team, you have a right, HR or hiring team. So making sure you have the right assembled team, there is three factors, define particularly, a success of an agency, and making sure that they are growing in a right way.
I definitely want to do a second episode. Let's have you back on. Let's dig into that because I love that stuff. And I think it's the next level of thinking when you're growing an agency. Obviously, there's all these nuts and bolts like we've talked about, like getting the right team in place, getting, folks like you to help with fulfillment, but the next level is the thinking. It's the agency owners thinking and how you're addressing problems and growth and opportunities. So let's dig into that next time. But how can agency owners or account managers reach out to you to get help for their fulfillment?
Yeah, our website is the best. Our website is e2msolutions.com. That's E and 2 is a numeric and M solutions.com. And that's where, everything is mentioned about what we do, how we help agencies. So if you want to check out our website, and, my email is the best, Manish at e2msolutions.com. I love agency ecosystem. Always, I'm up for chatting with any agency owners, so happy to chat, happy to answer any questions. We guide agencies a lot about like how to find the right white label partner as well. So yeah, our website and email is the best way to learn more about us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Manish, for coming on, and can't wait to meet you in person next month and continue our partnership. Yeah.
Thank you, Dale. Thank you for having me on the show. And yeah, I look forward to meeting you in person in Austin next month.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Cheers to happy clients.
At Dot & Company, we believe that all agencies deserve amazing account managers, and that all of those account managers deserve to be supported, encouraged, and loved on. That's why we started CAM Community, a membership only for account managers. And inside, you'll gain access to the exact training we use to train our own client-facing account managers, but also access to all of our SOPs, processes, and live trainings on a variety of topics. If you're an account manager, this is the place you've been waiting for. Learn more at dotandcompany.co/CAM community.